So everyone participates, have one conversation at a time, withhold judgment of others' ideas, get up and draw. So everyone is capable of drawing, even if it's just a rectangle. So get up and draw when in person, and remotely you can draw on our virtual whiteboards. Be comfortable, be easy on people, but tough on ideas. So we want to make sure we hear everyone's ideas. We don't want to just hear the loudest person in the room or the person with the highest title. So we want to make sure we capture everyone's ideas. Be timely, be present, turn your camera on, limit other computer and phone use, no jargon or acronyms. So especially with no acronyms, you can use acronyms, but we need to make sure we define them to make sure everyone understands what they are. Because every company has their own acronyms, and everybody's slightly new to the team.
The goal of a design thinking workshop is to utilize the different methodologies that we have as designers from our toolkit to help solve complex problems and find solutions for our clients. We want to understand their users through the process of questioning the problem, to identify the different perspectives that their users have and to gain knowledge from that. These different steps of creative and collaborative exercises that we go through, the groups that we are engaging with in the workshop, align on what would be, testable solutions, which can be applied to all phases of designing a product. Design thinking is a very iterative and it's an agile process to design and build with a human-centered approach by empathizing, ideating, and then prototyping, and then testing these concepts that we come up with and seeing if these ideas dramatically improve the outcome of the product or not. By identifying the success metrics, the plans for execution, and what the minimum viable product should be, we can kind of converge on these different ideal states of what the product could be in order to reach launch. It'll essentially minimize certain risks, like the amount of capital needs to be invested in the product because we know where we're heading before going into code, and it still allows us to provide a product that will succeed when it hits on the open market. These workshops, they help us spot opportunities for adding human value that will influence the minds of our client's audience and help to shape their future behavior. The goal of the workshop is to foster empathy and genuine discussion of the ideas that we're collaborating on in a very human-centric way. Everyone wants to create products that make an impact. So this leads to certain challenges of finding the right balance between autonomy and alignment with the teams that are involved. Autonomy is essential when you need team members to make decisions and move things forward at a very fast pace, like in the case of an MVP. On the other hand, alignment is even more critical because it ensures all the teams are moving towards the goals of the company. Aligned teams drive business success, and the conversations that we have during the workshops are, at the heart of this alignment. We aim to avoid wanting to validate our own assumptions, which is a very important point, by truly understanding what the end user's behavior is. So in essence, design thinking is a very human-focused, prototype-driven process for innovation, which winds up reducing risk by using a very collaborative and iterative approach.
So what are some activities? And there are different types of mechanisms to pull out ideas. Some things we use are icebreakers to get to know people on the team, typing ideas on virtual sticky notes individually, and small groups. And this is important to get original ideas and not just group thinking. Dot voting for prioritizing ideas, drawing user flows and wireframes, discussing and converging as a group on various topics, breaks in between activities, and a retrospective. So what prep is required from the client side? So we need to be provided team members, so the 1 decider, the 2 to 3 builders, the 1 to 2 SMEs, and their availability. Also provide any research before a workshop. If you have any personas, on-site visits, anytime you talk to your customers. And if in person, identify a space we can meet.
one of my favorite workshops I've ever facilitated was with a dental equipment manufacturer. Yeah, they had approached Levvel and they had 3 separate digital experiences for their customers to engage with. And, this led to an overall disjointed user experience. And they really, really wanted to empower their end customers and create a deeper brand relationship with them. So in this workshop, the team defined project goals, target audience, strategy. We mapped out all of the user flows, success metrics, key dates and milestones, and just gained overall alignment with everyone involved in the project. And actually, one of my favorite quotes from a client came after this very workshop, and I happened to be the one facilitating, and I had a main stakeholder from the client side who'd been very skeptical about the workshop process and everything that came with it. He came up to me and he said, when I came into this workshop, I knew I had everything figured out and I had a solid plan, but what we came up with in this workshop is 100 times better. And so that was really awesome to hear, and it can just really shows the power of what a workshop can help a team to ideate and innovate together. So design thinking workshops can produce all sorts of output or outcomes depending on the problem that you're trying to solve. So it could all be different. It really depends on the type of workshop and problem that you're trying to solve. So for example, when we facilitate design thinking workshops during the discovery process, so that's at the very beginning of the process, we may leave that workshop with defined goals and success metrics, user needs, user flows, user types and roles, a full feature list for MVP, dependencies and gaps in development research. And that's just to name a few for the discovery process, but it really depends on the type of workshop that you're facilitating or holding with your team and the problem that you're actually trying to solve.